Hey guys, Zethion here from Langrisser. I'm here with a channel update as well as some backstory and some personal information. But the too long didn't watch version of this that I'll give at the start, so to save everyone a bit of time, is that with regards to the YouTube channel, after about a year or so or more of starting this from scratch, of teaching myself video editing and streaming and all that from scratch, and out of a desire to provide content to the Langrisser community, um, recent events in the personal side have made it such that I don't think I'm going to try to comprehensively cover everything that happens in the game. And one of the reasons is because we're so behind every other server. There's actually an ample amount of content from the other English language content creators from global, such as Nitro, Dango, Kong, that we can use as a reference. And because of that, I will step back from videos that I feel are not unique, that do not add anything new or special to the community as a whole. So things that won't be affected will be stuff that doesn't have any English language video available. For example, the recent Mystery of the Forest event, which Global never got, as well as the recent All Souls Night event, the Halloween event that Global got about a week or so later after us. These videos would not have been affected, as I would still have made them anyway, due to the fact that there were no English language content creators covering them at the time that our server was undergoing those events. I will still be doing my summoning live streams. I will still be doing the monthly news videos for as long as I play Langrisser. It has been an interesting journey over the last 1 year of playing. And Langrisser is a tough game to keep up with in terms of the time commitment, especially if you want to play at a high level. I think it is telling that out of the top 4 from Season 2, the season that literally just passed, 3 of the 4 players have retired and have stepped down from playing Langrisser actively. So I'm hoping that by scaling back what I do with videos, it gives me more time to be a bit more balanced, to not burn myself out on Langrisser, as well as to go the distance. Hopefully I will still be playing this game 1 year later. It also does not help that there has been no official recognition from Zilong that this channel even exists. For those of you who were around in the first year of Langrisser, you know that they opened up entries for the strategist squad for Langrisser C. And you will also know that in the last 1 year since the submissions were sent in, there has been no reply from Zilong C. It was also a bit discouraging that for the latest Langrisser C All-Stars tournament, even though we approached Langrisser C themselves to try to put out a bit of publicity on the official Facebook page, they basically turned us down and said, no, this is not an official tournament, we are not going to support you in this way. Although the global Langrisser admins, the global Langrisser Facebook page has no qualms about promoting the Summit de Langrisser on their page. So this lack of support is also quite discouraging. And I'm not sure if you know, if you don't hit 1,000 subscribers, you're not earning anything. So for this YouTube, it's been a labor of love. It has been a hobby, it's been a labor of love. It has never been about monetizing the channel. You will never hear me asking for subscribers, because that's something I intentionally don't do, because that's not what I started this channel for. I started this channel to put up resources and information useful to the Langrisser C community. I do have a day job. For those of you who don't know, I am a doctor, a practicing doctor in Singapore, and that keeps me busy enough that I don't need a secondary job as a YouTuber to make ends meet. So I will be putting out less videos as compared to before, because I will try not to replicate whatever is there, and I'll try to focus my efforts on what is actually helpful, on what is unique, on what does not exist currently in the community. If there are new Langrisser C YouTubers that would like to step up, and fill the void, I'll be more than happy to promote you guys on the channel. Just shoot me a message and I will include the links to your new channels below. Now for the personal part, it's going to get a bit heavy, so if you're just here for the channel updates, I'm more or less done. But if you would like to listen on and hear me do a bit of sharing, stay tuned. So Langrisser came out in C on the 30th of July. What happened then was that I was still hurting from the death of my mother on the 13th of July. That was 2 weeks just before the launch of Langrisser C. I was never really close to Mum. She had issues with mental health, which meant that she would be physically present but not really there, raising my sister and I. But even with that being said, you only have one mother and one father. And even though I wasn't close to her after she passed, there was a certain void that was left. It was magnified even more so by having a child myself and knowing just how much it is that parents do for their children when they're young. It also sort of served as a reminder that some things I would never know. And what I meant is that, for example, how I was like as a baby, how I was like growing up. When I was young, my father was a ship captain, a mariner. The technical term is a master mariner, where he's licensed to captain any class of ship on any ocean on Earth, and he was obviously frequently away from home. And my mother raised me and my sister by herself. And with her passing, all those knowledge, stories, reflections of how we were as kids died with her. And it was it was challenging to work through my emotions and how I felt at that time after just losing Mum. So when Langrisser came out 2 weeks later, I picked it up. I really liked it, and I threw myself into it with probably a bit too much energy and probably spent a bit more than I should have on Langrisser, but it helped, and I developed a love for the game that I still have to this day. Appreciated the tactical gameplay that was so much deeper than anything else out there on the market, for the mobile market. And that's sort of the reason why I came to play Langrisser, why I loved it so much that I created and taught myself how to record videos for a YouTube channel, and we're 380 videos in now. Something happened on the weekend of the Langrisser C All-Stars tournament. And those who were in my guild Discord, those who were in the tournament Discord, so the players, especially even those from overseas, as well as the Disney Discord where the PvP players from Langrisser C gather, all of you will know what I'm talking about because I did mention what I was going through. This was on the first weekend of the Langrisser C All-Stars tournament. Just to give a bit more context, as I mentioned, I wasn't very close to my mum. My dad basically, once he stopped sailing, he raised myself and my sister while holding down a full-time job. He also did the housework when he came home, and he basically made us who we are as people, and we are forever indebted to him for that. And I was obviously a bit more closer to and tight with my dad as a result. I always told him in cards that I wrote him for Father's Day that he was my hero, and he still is to this day, for doing what he did, for all the sacrifices that he made along the way to ensure that my sister and I would grow up, would have an education, and would be where we are today. So my father came over on Saturday, which was the second day of the Langrisser C All-Stars tournament, and he came over to celebrate my son's birthday. My son turned 3 that weekend, and I remember he came over at about 6:30 or so. And I spent some time with him at the start, but ultimately I had the tournament and I said goodbye, and I ran in to cast the tournament the second day. The matches of Leos, I believe, as well as a Beaston Clock. I can't remember exactly, but that was the second day of matches, and that's why at the end of the stream you can hear me saying that I've got to go. My wife is mad at me because I had my dad over at that time. He was outside, and they were just waiting for me to cut the cake. And yep, I spent the majority of that night in this room right here, playing Langrisser, recording the video, casting, and after that I went out. After we finished, I went out and had about half an hour with them before my dad, because of his underlying health conditions, had to go. He's basically suffered from a series of strokes that left him quite a bit weaker, and he can't stay out for very long. So he only had a limited time that he could be out for, and I spent most of that time here in the room, recording, casting, and hosting the tournament. That wouldn't be so bad if not for the fact that that was the last time that I saw my father alive. The one who brought us up, my hero. That was how I spent my last night with him, spending most of it in this room, not with him. The next day, on the third day of the tournament, he had a massive stroke. He had a massive bleed in his brain. He was basically brain dead by the time he arrived at A&E. And when I got the call, it was to say that things were bad. As per his wishes, he always told us, because of the previous strokes, that he would not want to be on artificial life support. And so we followed his wishes. We waited for all the close family members to come down to A&E before we switched off his breathing machine, and I watched my father and my hero slip away in a matter of minutes after the machine was switched off. And that was why I was absent for the third day of the tournament. You didn't see me there. I wasn't casting, even though I had planned to, because of what happened. And I made the choice on the second day of the tournament to do what I did, because I really do love the game. But life reminded me that there is a lot more to it than just Langrisser. And because of that, and the wish to never ever miss any moments like that ever again with my family, that's why I'm also taking a step back from content creation. I won't be putting out as many videos as regularly, and I hope this sort of explains why I've made that decision. Again, this channel has been a passion project. I've not earned a single cent from this channel, nor did I want to. But I think after a year and so much time and effort, I've got to move on with the next phase of life. I've got to figure out how to live life as an orphan. Although I have a family of my own, it's a reminder that we are all mortal beings, and that death comes for us all one day. And I just want to make the most of life while I'm still alive, and spend as much time with my family as possible. I'm not sure if I can balance it with content creation and all that. I will try, because I do think that maybe I might be wrong, but I do think that there's information that I provide that is of benefit to Langrisser C players, and so I'll try to do that as best as I can. So yep, that's the channel update. In short, lesser but hopefully more impactful, high quality videos. Due to personal reasons, I will also be stepping down from tournament organizing. I had intended for the Langrisser C All-Stars tournament to only be the first tournament that I organized, But with everything that's happened, I don't think that's quite my priority anymore. I will still help out behind the scenes. If Noob Pianist organizes a tournament, I'll try to look for accounts for the foreign guests to borrow, including my own. I will try to co-sponsor prizes. I will try to co-cast for the tournaments on days that I'm available. But yeah, life sometimes is rather unexpected. So yep, hope you guys understand now why I am making the change that I'm making. And yeah, if you want to unsubscribe because my videos are not coming so often again, I'll try to include links to other Langrisser C streamers and content creators. If you like to stick around for whatever content that I do make in the coming weeks to months, you're always welcome. And yeah, so this is Ethereon with a very personal update and all that I hope you guys didn't find too heavy. Signing off.